morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rise and Slay morning show. Yes, it is to slay. Okay. It is the beginning of the week, and I am here, y'all, to make sure that we kickstart this week off just right. Okay, so good morning. Good morning, Leslie. Thank you so much, Madame, for being here. I'm just coming off of a high. Thank you so much. Yes, I am all about these outfits. All right, because thank you so much for the compliment. Because guess what? This is the type of energy that I'm in right now. All right. And we talked about energy this morning on the Clubhouse app with Mosaic Inc. And so I am just continuing on the conversation here on the platform. So welcome everyone to the Rise and Slay morning show. And I am your host, Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway, or Slay, whichever one you would like to call. And I am here just to give you a dose of inspiration as you get started in the week. And the purpose of this morning show, if you will, is to really talk about our personal brand. All right. I've been sitting in personal branding for a minute, and I got my certification as an image consultant. And I realized when I was serving in the United States Air Force, for 30 years, that the thing that I was most consistent with was building my personal brand when I discovered it. And I was a late bloomer, so I didn't understand anything about personal branding until I was about 15 years into my career. So when I say that we're going to rise and slay, we're going to be talking about personal branding, and personal branding is you. How are you being perceived in this world, in this crazy, chaotic world that we are in? Slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym. S stands for stay ready to be ready. L stands for lead out loud. A sense of community, a sense of family, and why you are built to last. So as you come in, please let us know where you're coming in from, where you're tuning in from, and like, share, and subscribe. Okay. Like, share, and subscribe with your friends and your loved ones who you think may need a little bit of dose of this Rise and Slay morning show. Okay. So as we know, y'all, when we are here, we are going to be talking specifically about the personal branding. Okay. And what I want us to talk about today is how, or whether or not you need a personal brand makeover. Okay. Do you need a personal brand makeover? That's what the question of the morning is. So again, like I said, I didn't realize anything about personal branding until I was more than halfway in my military career. I am a professional speaker, I'm a consultant, and an author. And so, as I am building my brand, my personal brand, I discovered there's some very unique things that I have been able to get right, because by doing that, opportunities are flowing. Okay, opportunities are flowing left and right up in here. I've got collaborations, connections, speaking engagements, all because I have been very consistent with building this brand that I call Slay to Success. Slay to Success. So I'm the CEO and founder of Slay to Success. And I'm empowering women professionals with strategies so they can step up into their most authentic personal brand to gain lucrative opportunities and to elevate their impact. Okay. So is this something that we need to talk about? Because we may be building our brand and we're bringing our brand to the table, but are we actually conveying it in the right ways where it is opening up doors of opportunities? Because if we don't know, we don't have any clarity, we don't know where we're going, we are getting nowhere. You're going to get nowhere, and then you're going to have a lot of feelings coming up. So I'm going to go over a few of these because I got my little cheat sheet here. I wanted to take some notes so that way I can stay on track here. So if you're feeling frustrated, okay, and this is common for women professionals or women who are in business or women returning back to work or women that are trying to rebrand themselves in the next chapter. You're feeling frustrated because you're struggling to articulate your personal brand. You're not sure. Okay, I was struggling when I retired from the military because I was communicating in acronyms. Okay. In the military, they teach us how to speak in acronyms. No one out here knows anything about these acronyms. Okay. I have had my lingo, I had to really work on that and spell things out. Not everybody understands what a POC is. Not everyone which is a point of contact, y'all. Okay. Not everybody understands PCSs. Okay, permanent change of station. These are things that we learn when we're in military, but I had to refine that. So I had to articulate my personal brand now in such a way where people are like, oh yeah, I get it. I understand what you're doing. You have to have a strong sense of who you are. Okay. And what you're bringing to the table, like I said before. But you may be finding it challenging to convey that identity in a way that resonates with others. So you may need a personal brand makeover if that is happening for you. If you feel insecure, okay, we have a lot of people who have felt somewhat insecure about where they're at because you're comparing yourself to other people and you don't have a clear and compelling personal brand. So you looking around, trying to look to see what everyone else is doing, and then you're copycatting them. And guess what? It does not land right at all. I've seen it time and time again. You may be worrying about measuring up or the lack of charisma you may be having or uniqueness because you're not understanding how to stand out. These are things, these are some feelings that come up for us when we know we need a personal brand makeover. So again, you're frustrated, you're insecure, you may be overwhelmed, right? Because the process of defining a personal brand can feel overwhelming, especially are juggling multiple roles and responsibilities. And we may struggle to find the time and the energy to reflect on our values, our strengths, our aspiration because of demands of our professional and personal lives. This happens, y'all. This is happening time and time again. We feel overwhelmed. I felt overwhelmed many times during my military career to adjust my personal brand because as I was climbing up the promotion ladder, I was in different environments with different people. And you have to make these moves if and making sure that what you're saying, how you're saying it, and how you're carrying yourself is in such a way where you're building trust and credibility. So you need to do it step by step so that way you don't overwhelm yourself. Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan as you're going in? I certainly had a plan when I retired. I said the first thing that I'm going to do is to work on this wardrobe. All right. I want to walk in the energy that I have, which is youthfulness, charisma, energy. I wanted to show up in this pink and with all this pink flavor because it's most fitting to my personality. I did not want to be subdued by blacks, browns, blues, grays. Those are the colors that you typically will find when you're in a military environment. And so I have rebuilt my wardrobe. Now, y'all, if you walk in my closet and my husband can attest, he's like, what is happening in here? There's a lot going on in there. And I have to slow down because I think I'm at the point right now where I can just maintain because I have spent lots of money of just to make sure that these clothes are what I want it to be. Because the first thing that we're walking into a room without us even saying anything, people are looking at us. And the last thing that I want people to say is, well, what is happening over here? I'm showing up, and we all need to start showing up. All right. But take it step by step, because there are a lot of hats that we are wearing. All right. I am a mom. I am a spouse. Again, I just share with you, I'm a speaker, an author, an image consultant. I do a lot of different things, as you all do too. So think about where you want to go. Think about your values, your strengths, and your aspirations, okay, amongst all the demands that we have. Next is the feeling of self doubt. How many of us have experienced self doubt about our ability to create a personal brand that is authentically representing of us? How many of us? I would say a lot of us. I'm going to put my hand up. Me, okay? I've had some doubts about where I'm trying to go. And even when I was in the military, I was questioning whether or not I was worthy of recognition or success, and whether that I had what it takes to compete in that competitive work environment. Because I was one of a small amount of women. When I started to climb into leadership roles, I would be like one and only in some cases, or one of two or three of us. And I didn't think that I was really worthy of where I was at. And I had to change my mindset about that. Yes, I had the experience, the expertise, the skills to handle what I needed to handle. But sometimes I doubted myself for no apparent reason. I was in my head. And so we have to make sure that we are creating a personal brand that is most authentic to us and that represents who we really are. And this takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. Some of us want this thing to happen, and and poof, we are all set and ready to go. But we have to really think about what it is that we want to convey and how we want to do that. All right. Then you may be experiencing the hesitation of opening up and being vulnerable. Now, I think I have. Oh yeah. So Brene Brown is one of the books that I have here, and this is Dare to Lead. And I didn't get turned on to Brene Brown until about a few years ago. And one of the things that she talks about is being very vulnerable and opening up about your values, your passions, and your aspirations. And some of us may not be wanting to do that because we worried about being judged or misunderstood. We don't want to have any rejections. We're having that fear of rejection or criticism from others if we are not conforming to whatever else is going on there. I know, Leslie, me too. I mean, I think I've read it twice. And every now and again, I'll pick it up and I'll read certain excerpts out of that, because it's important for us to really figure out how to share some of the most, I would say, the most deepest thoughts that we have without really giving up everything. So I do 85-15% rule. All right. 85% of what I'm sharing, okay, I'm okay with sharing with you, and you can go and tell your friends, and your friends are going to tell your friends, or because that's how it works, y'all. But 15% of what goes on in my life is kept between me and the people that are most closest to me, which is my husband and my son. And so you have to really think about what it is that you're opening up and sharing. But we do have to be opened up to our values, our passions, and our aspirations, and not quite, given all the stuff that we need just to make, because I've heard people vomiting, we have that terminology when people are just vomiting in meetings. All right. I'm like, where did that come from? And why are you sharing? Is that beneficial? Is that going to help anybody? Or are you just sharing because you just think this is a mental health therapy session? All right. So let's just be mindful, but we do want to open up. All right. And making sure that everyone knows, kind of how we think and how we move. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. This is all our language, Leslie. It's our language. All right. And you may be feeling that you don't have empowerment. You're not quite sure what this word means. All right. You don't have the sense of empowerment. Sense of empowerment is about taking ownership of your personal brand. All right. And this is about embracing your uniqueness and express yourself authentically to find that renewed sense of confidence and purpose in your careers. Now, I love talking about confidence. All right. A lot of people, they will share with me, how did I get so much confidence? How did I get to this point? Well, I am showing up, first of all, the way that I want to show up. Number two, I do a lot of confidence building activities. One of the things is I work out every day. This is why, again, slay is just most fitting to my brand, because I slay every morning. Every morning I get up, don't even think about it. I roll downstairs, and we have a gym in one of the rooms that we built many years. It took many years to get all the pieces that we have. But I go down into the basement area, I work out, and that is a confidence builder for me. It's part of my strategy, because if I feel good, I look good, have the thoughts in my head that are very clear, and I'm on a mission. I get going in there. I think about things that I have done. I think about things that I need to get done. I do a lot of reflection and meditation. All right. So it looks different for me, but it is like moving my body. So we have to have that renewed sense of confidence, and we have to have a purpose when we are creating our personal brand. So if you need a makeover, like I'm sharing with you all the feelings that you may be feeling right now. Again, frustrated, insecure, maybe you're overwhelmed, you have some self-doubt. You don't know, again, how to be vulnerable. You don't know how to, the sense of empowerment can help you to achieve your goals and give you the confidence that you need. So we may be having a mix of emotions, and we're not quite sure where we're going, but we need to acknowledge these feelings so we can navigate with this process of having clarity, authenticity, excuse me, authenticity and resilience. So here are some reasons why you might need a personal brand makeover. Okay. Number one, you're in a position of advancement. Maybe you're in your career, or maybe you're in your business, but you're being looked at for the next role, that next elevation, where your paycheck is going to change, all right, for the better. And these are going to open up doors to new opportunities. And, you're going to meet new people, and you're going to have to go to new events and so forth. So if you're a woman looking to advance in your career or transition to a new role or to new industry, you can make sure that it's your personal, you can start now. All right. You can start working towards what it is that you need to show up in, because this makeover can ensure your brand aligns with your goals and positions you as the standout candidate. All right. So as you're preparing for this transition, this is one of the reasons why you might need a personal brand makeover. You may needing to update your wardrobe. I remember the turning point for me, okay, when I knew I needed to show up a little bit differently. And that's when I was a first sergeant. So a first sergeant, it is like a social worker um, in a role in the military. And I would have to go to these events at night, maybe with my commander, maybe with the chief, which is the highest enlisted grade, and that person who fills that role. We had to represent our squadron or our unit, and sometimes that was interfacing with the community and community leaders. And I was like, I don't have anything really. I have clothes, but I don't really have the right clothes to show up in these particular environments. So I had to adjust. I had to buy certain pieces. I had to buy a couple of blazers. I had to buy, the matching pants that went with it, some tops or whatnot. And at that time, I really wasn't paying attention to personal branding, but I knew I needed to show up I had to show up differently. All right. So, because it was a career advancement for me, and that was kind of the turning point, and how I got to this point was looking at each one of these roles that I took on, and it required me to change my the way that I show up, my behaviors, my communication style, my presence. So this is what, as an image consultant that I do, and I work with my clients, this is what we talk about. We talk about the overall package. We just don't talk about appearance. That is just the part of it's just one aspect of your image. We talk about all the things, all right, because you want to show up correct. All right, you don't want an opportunity slipping out of your hands, and then all of a sudden, all right, it's not right. It's just not going to sit right. All right, and we're not trying to copy anybody else. We worried about us and how we're showing up. All right, so you may need a personal brand makeover if you want to up your professional presence, because we're living in a digital age. And last week I talked about your digital presence, your virtual presence, and how is that looking, because people aren't necessarily reaching out and wanting to call and have a conversation. You know what the first thing they doing, y'all? They are Googling you. Okay, they are looking. I know right now people are actually looking and watching my show, if you will, or they'll go back to the replay and they won't make any comments. They're just trying to check me out. And I put it on display. And that's what I'm doing, right? In this branding aspect. And it's just a way for people to get to know me a little bit better. But it's often the first impression, that our potential employers, our clients, or even our collaborators are looking at to see. And if our current personal brand is outdated or inconsistent, this is when we'll need to say, okay, we need a personal brand makeover, because it can refresh your image and ensure that you present yourself professionally across all your platforms. There is a gazillion platforms out today. Where are you sitting at, and what do people see? Right now, we're live streaming in Facebook, which is on my personal Facebook page, LinkedIn, where I'm at every day, okay, and on YouTube. So at any point, somebody can share what I'm doing and how I'm doing it with people who want to work with me in the future, because they just want to see, what are they going to get? All right. What kind of energy are they going to get? What kind of, level of professionalism are they going to get? So we have to understand, we may need a makeover if we're looking at all our platforms and it's not really conveying the message that we want to convey to gain lucrative opportunities. I'm not saying that our platforms need to be lined up where it's, looking anything like what I'm doing, but is it really what you want it to be? And if you need a refresh, you can do that starting today. You can start looking at how you're going to update things. All right. I'm updating things all the time. You may see different banners. You may see different video clips. You may see something different all the time, because I know that I have to stay relevant, right? When we become irrelevant on these platforms, and I'm 51 years old and I am not ashamed to say how old I am, I have to keep up with the times. And when we keep up with the times, people are like, oh, yeah, okay, let me listen a little bit closer to what they have to say. Oh, let me lean in because I know that they're going to drop some gems, right? So we have to show up in the way that is most fitting for us. But let's look at these platforms, all right? Anything that's on them may need to be cleared up. I remember when I was in Instagram, and I am the slay boss lady on Instagram. And I had a bunch of posts in there that were back from my early days when I started out Slay to Success. Well, those posts have changed considerably. Yes, I kept a few of them because I want to see my journey from where I started to where I'm at right now. but it wasn't exactly what I wanted to share on that platform. My platforms are different. The way I show up in Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and my Instagram, you could see a little bit of variation in that, but it all sits into how I am slaying it. Okay, that is the theme. How am I slaying it? So Instagram, I'm slaying in the clothes. All right, you will see a lot of me twirling around and showing the outfit of the day. When I'm in LinkedIn, it's a little bit more professional, but I'm still having my personality that is infused into that. And I keep showing up because I have a lot of information and content that I want to share. So let's think about that. All right. You may need a personal brand makeover if you're rebranding after any life changes. All of us are going through changes. All right. These changes are career shifts, they're parenthood, there are relocations. I've had to shift every single time I had a significant life change. And this is necessary, all right, to reflect the new chapter of where we're at. This is a new chapter for me. After 30 years of service, all right, I had to figure out who I wanted to become after service. I did not want my identity to be wrapped up in the military. Yes, I I continue to give back and I pay it forward in that line of work as well and for my community. But I wanted to be out here on my own and be able to, rebrand and reflect where I'm at right now. Right now, I am building something in the business, and these are the things that I work on. So, I'm so into it right now, y'all, that I've actually written a guide and it is called Own Your Power, Build a Memorable Personal Brand to Gain Opportunities for Women Over 40. Because I know the challenges that it is for us after the age of 40. Society tells us that we too old, that we've had our day, and we just sit back on the sidelines. Mm-mm. I am challenging us to bring out the best of us and build a personal brand with this book. I also created one for people who are outside of the 40 and not a woman. This is for men. This is for anyone under the age of 40. This is a guide, if you will, so that way you can elevate your image. I'm not messing around, y'all, because this is important. These are tips of advice or plans that I didn't have when I was doing my adjustments, and I just had to figure it out on my own. But when I got my certification as an image consultant, I was like, you know what? That's exactly what I was doing while I was in the military, but I didn't know quite what it was called. All right. So we have to look at our current circumstances and figure out where our aspirations are. And this is when we can start to make over our personal brand. All right. Now, another reason why you might need a personal brand makeover is to enhance your visibility. All right. I am the visibility queen. I am out here, y'all. And you can attract more opportunities for networking, for collaboration, and thought leadership when you enhance your visibility. Now, it does come with risk because when you put yourself all the way out there, you're opening up opportunity for people to say stuff. All right. I don't, at this particular time, I don't care. All right. I want to raise my profile within my industry, within my community, and the makeover that I created after I retired has helped me to stand out from the crowd and make a memorable impression. I'm often called the Pink Lady, and I'm really fine with that because that's what people remember me as. But I really am very intentional about how I'm stepping in. Every place I go, I think about, first of all, what am I going to be wearing? All right, based on who's in the audience, based on, what type of event is. Number two, how do I adjust my behaviors? The way that I talk to civilian communities is different from the way that I talk to military communities. I do speaking engagements, as you know, for both communities. I have to adjust accordingly. And so it requires some really deep thought, and you have to be very purposeful. My communication has to be different. When I communicate in the civilian community, I talk about my challenges. I talk about failures that I had, because when you're adorned with medals and ribbons and all these accolades, that can really prevent people from seeing you as a human being. So you have to understand the connections that you're making with the individuals that are in the environment. But I enhance my visibility by really looking at my personal brand and how do I make that turn, if you will, to realign with my current circumstances and my aspirations. So we may need a personal brand makeover if we want to stand out and enhance our visibility. All right. The next is building confidence. All right. You may need a personal brand makeover if you lack the confidence necessary to showcase in your personal brand. Now, because your personal brand should boost your confidence level. Your personal brand should give you that self assurance that you need, both personally and professionally. All right. So take a look. Is your personal brand really is getting you up out of your bed and making it seem as if it's effortless? If it's a grind and you're like, I'm tired and I'm not, oh, I've got to do this over and over again, then that's not really how you should be showing up. You need to look about um, what your values are, what your strengths are, and what are your unique selling points. Because a personal makeover can really empower you to own your identity and communicate your worth with conviction. I ain't got no problem telling you about the sleigh. I talk about sleigh all day. Stay ready to be ready. Lead out loud. A sense of community, a sense of family, and knowing you are built to last. Sleigh is the foundation for whatever I'm doing. I can go into sleigh mode and talk about all the ins and outs of sleigh because I have much conviction in what I'm speaking to. I know it firsthand. I understand what it needs to be prepared. All right. Because it's better to be prepared for an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. I understand about leading out loud. There's nothing like going somewhere and there's supposed to be a leader, but the leader is not present and accounted for. All right. And so what happens is everyone around them don't know what they're doing. And it's a lot of chaos and mayhem. And it actually tears down a team quickly because they can't identify the leader. So if you have the leadership of having other people that are following you, you kind of show up a little bit differently because you know the responsibilities that you have. But when you get that responsibility, I'm gonna need you to lead out loud. A sense of community, a sense of family is all about who is in your circle. Right? These folks that we got, they should be uplifting you and inspiring you each and every day, regardless of what's going on. If you have negative naysayers or you have people in your corner who are just being very negative about what you're doing and how you're doing it, that's not a sense of community, sense of family. They're supposed to hold you. These are people that you can lean on and say, hey, I need some help. I need some support. And they go, okay, we got you. If you don't have that, then you don't have the sense of community, sense of family. And it's so important that you have those types of people. And then why is you are built to last. You are built to last. It's in our DNA. But you have to have a positive mindset. You have to have some grit. You have to have some tenacity, determination to get what you need to do and do what you need to do. If you don't have all these things, I don't know. These things aren't going to happen. All right. But you have to have the right mindset and believe and trust in what you're doing. So hopefully this is making some sense to y'all. All right. And we're building our confidence up, enhancing our visibility, rebranding after life changes, our professional presence. Maybe we are having a career repositioning. These are all opportunities to make over our personal brand. All right. Now, again, we have to identify our unique selling points. So I need for anyone who's listening who's like, you know what? I need to figure out how to like adjust a little bit my wardrobe, my appearance, or excuse me, my behaviors, my communication, and my online presence. I want you to take some time to reflect on what makes you special. Every one of us is special. You're welcome, Leslie. I know you probably are on the move and got to go. So thank you so much for being here with me live. I appreciate you. So what is it that makes us special and differentiates us from others in our field of expertise? When I started out, y'all, I started out as a leadership and transformational consultant. That's what I said I was doing. When I looked into the sea of who else is out there, I'm like, everyone is on this leadership thing. And yes, leadership for me is my bread and butter. It's behind the scenes, but that's not what I lead in first with because I know that I am different when it comes to fashion. I am different when it comes to my speaking abilities. I am different because I am a communicator and I like to communicate through speaking and writing. So I'm using those to my advantage. So you have to ask yourself what skills, what talents, what qualities do you possess that are particularly strong or distinctive? We all have our own God-given, talents. So we have to really put it pen to paper. This is an opportunity to actually write it down. What are your skills? What are your talents? What are your qualities? What do you possess that are particularly strong or distinctive? So consider your professional expertise. I was a medic for most of my career in the military. I was a medical technician. And I did medical technician for 10 years. Then I had an opportunity to serve as an independent duty medical technician. The acronym for that is IDMT. This is where it's the next level of medical technician, where I was out in the field, y'all, with a team of people, and I was providing medical care. I was the one that they were dependent on just in case they got sick, injured, all the things. So I had to really adjust and build up my confidence level so where I felt comfortable of providing medical care at that level. So I started to use that. And looking back at my journey, I realized that that was one of my expertise, and people were calling me for that. And I was getting deployed to all these incredible places around the world to provide that type of medical care, not only for my team, but for teams of people that were actually from that particular country. So I had to really look at my professional expertise as being part of my personal brand, my personality traits. All right. Now, some may say that I'm a little bit bossy. I'm a little bit intimidating at times, especially when I was wearing the uniform. But I really felt like that was what I had always been. Growing up, I was one of four. I was the oldest. So I was left to take care of my siblings a lot. And so I had to come with a level of leadership. So I had already had that instilled within me before I went into the military. But part of my personality is calling things out. That's just who I am. All right. I have to refine that and to adjust so that I'm not just calling out and give him that energy of, well, you didn't do this right, you're a big failure, all those things. So you have to learn what your personality traits are and whether or not these are things that you can have a competitive advantage over others. So look at your personality traits. What is your specialized knowledge or experiences that you bring to the table? I know that as I'm going out and I'm speaking, especially on professional panels, the thing that I'm bringing out is personal branding. I bring that out all the time. Yes, my uh, colleagues are going to be talking about leadership theories and principles, and I can talk in that lingo too, but I understand personal branding. That's why I have said I am the personal brand expert. All right. So you have to understand what specialized knowledge or experiences that you're bringing to the table. And once you've identified your unique selling points, you got to think about how you want to position yourself in your industry or your niche. How do you want to position yourself? All right. What do you want your personal brand to convey to your audience? Are you known for creativity? Are you known for your leadership skills? Are you known for your attention to detail or something else entirely? All right. So you have to define the key attributes and values that you want your brand to represent. Again, when I retired, y'all, and we're on here a little bit longer today because I wanted to really kind of flesh this out, especially about the makeover piece. When I retired, the natural progression, if you will, is to get, more knowledge about leadership. When I retired as a command chief at Ellsworth Air Force Base, I was at the very top of the enlisted grade for the military installation. And you think you know all the things about leadership until I said, okay, well, let me go ahead and get my degree in leadership. And I found out so much more that I probably could have used while I was serving in the military. But nevertheless, even after I got my degree, I said something is missing, something else is tugging at me. I don't have to follow what everyone thinks that I should follow. That is why I got interested in image consulting, because I was like, what is I feel like I have really um figured out the image that I want to portray. So I started looking into that and I got my certification. So it doesn't matter what you're actually doing right now. Maybe there's something else that you're wanting to do, and that's entirely different from what you have been doing. So you have to define the key attributes and values that your brand wants to represent. So today, y'all, we were just talking about a little bit, does your personal brand need a makeover? Does your personal brand need a makeover? And if it does, because you're changing careers, and you want to figure out how your professional presence is going to represent you professionally across the platforms, or you're rebranding after life changes, or you want to enhance your visibility, build confidence, you want authenticity and alignment, okay, to make sure that your image and your messaging is resonating genuinely with your audience. And if you have those, as well as feeling frustrated, insecure, lack of confidence, some self doubt, not really having a sense of empowerment, you'll probably need a personal brand makeover. All right. So I highly recommend that you start to looking at your unique selling points. All right. What it separates you from everyone else? What are your skills, your talents, your qualities? All right. What is your professional expertise, your personality traits? How do you define your key attributes and your values? These are some starting points. And if you're still stuck, you can come see about me. All right. I am a personal branding coach. I offer, image consulting services and assessments. I have a client that I'm going out to their house on Sunday to take a look at their wardrobe because they're getting ready to transition into a new career position. And so they are needing support. I'm here to help you to determine how do you want to show up. And you can be completely different from what you were showing up before. My client is been on a virtual platform, and as you all know, we have been on these platforms, and now they are in an advancement where they're actually going to go into an office every day. They need a whole complete, like, I need to make sure that I'm doing this right. I'm still, I want to make sure I'm doing what I need to do. Okay, yes, thank you, Leslie. So if you need a personal brand makeover, you need to come see about me. All right. You can also get one of my books. All right. They're on Amazon, y'all. They're on Amazon. These are starting points, but you need a little bit deeper look and you need a little bit more support and guidance. I have a lot of things that I offer. I'm going to be offering workshops. So stay tuned for those announcements where we can work together and making sure that you are displaying what you need to display. Hey, Kim. Thank you for being here, my queen. All right. So me and Kim, we go back, way back, Japan days. Okay. And so she's also a military veteran, Air Force and Army. So, we have to really be very intentional about what we're doing. And as a personal brand expert and image consultant, I realize that that's where I want to spend my energy on, because I want women to be showing up and standing out and maintaining their seats at the table in their most authentic way that is true to them. And so they are not flailing around and having to figure out what to do at the last second. All right. You are firm in your convictions and you know what you're supposed to be doing. So that is today's show on the Rise and Slay Morning Show. I am your host, Rochelle Slay Queen, or Slay Hemingway, the CEO and founder of Slay to Success. You can check me out at www.slaytosuccess.com, and you can find out more information about where I'm going and what I'm doing. So, as we all say always say at the last of these shows, all right, keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And thank you so much, Leslie and Kim, for being with me live. And for anyone else who was tuning in and didn't get a chance to really, comment, thank you so much. And if you come back for the replay, put in hashtag replay into the comments. All right, so take care and we will see you all soon. Bye-bye.